forward to being part of this wonderful episode. And it's very distracting across the room. I'll tell you right now, they are super distracting to me. So anyway, welcome everybody to the SoundBroker Mastermind RoundTable. This is our 51st one, which would mean next week is going to be our 52nd one. I mean, I'm good at counting. And the reality is of course, is that would make it 1 year. And I've been thinking about this, and that is like COVID is now starting to go behind us instead of in front of us because people are now picking up work, and we might be changing the theme a little bit, than how we survive. I think that's what we might want to do, is how we come back from the COVID times. As you can see, I'm very, my thought process is are very exciting and captivating. As you can see, the people sitting across, people sitting across the way from me are not even paying attention. So,
You're muted.
Yeah, your audio keeps cutting out, Jan.
Jan, your audio's out.
Yeah, you're freezing up and you're losing audio. Throw those other guys off and get some bandwidth.
You're frozen.
Ken, are you frozen too?
No audio, Jan.
I see what happened. Okay, yeah, I fixed that now. Like I said, if I cut out or whatever, somebody else just, pick it up and you guys cover whatever needs to be covered if my audio goes out. So anyway, for all those people watching on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, hey, welcome to the SoundBroker Mastermind group. I hope you're all doing well. Just remember, we're here talking about how the news is affecting our industry, and basically welcome everybody to the SoundBroker Mastermind Roundtable. I don't remember if I said this because I'm a little bit confused, but if I didn't say it, let me say it now. Everything you hear is an opinion, so you do your own research to see whether or not it's true or false, but we all come from the heart, so basically everything should be good to go. All right, so how is everybody doing today? Is there anybody that wants to, just jump in and share other than me? Nobody. Good. Then I've got something to share, and I've got some interesting, very, very interesting news. And this comes not from the United States, believe it or not, but this comes from Peru, where a pregnant woman was expecting to have 7 babies, but instead she had 9 babies. That's, there you go, 9. She had 9 babies. And the reason I bring this up is because that's 9 more concert-going persons that could come and watch our shows. So that's why I brought it up. I want to say, I can't even imagine having, 1, but much less 9. Unbelievable. So anyway, that's the other thing. So now I went fishing for the first time in my life, Steve Sluter, in New Orleans. I really want to thank you for inviting me. By the way, in case you don't know, this is my birthday. I just turned 21. And I know it's been a rough life, believe me. That's why I look so gray, But Steve, put that down. I tell you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And also David Dansky, it's his birthday as well. David and I both were 3 days apart, 2 days apart. David's the 9th. I am the 7th of May. So welcome. But I want to talk about going fishing because I had never gone fishing before, and we went fishing in the bayou. And if you've never been to the bayou to go fishing, you don't know what you're missing. It is amazing. And I had an epiphany about life, about what life means to me. And I am very excited to share this with you because I turned to Steve and I think I started crying when I had this epiphany, right? You know. And what I found out about it, you must wear loose shoes. That's it. If your shoes are too no, that's not what it was about. It was about friendships, the friendships that we share, and what we mean to everybody. You know, what you mean to each other, and what you guys mean to me, and what my friends mean to me. And I realize now that that's what life is all about for me. Is the relationships that I have in my life more than anything else. And for those people who are in my life, especially you guys in the room, I really want to thank you for being part of my life. And, you know, especially Ken Porter and Paul Marini. You guys have been outstanding. Steve Sluter, you know, those guys that have come to play. David Dansky, of course, because I've known David forever. Kenny Newman. Unfortunately, Kenny Newman can't be with us today. He's a little bit under the weather, so if anybody believes in prayer, now would be the time to say a prayer, and hopefully that Kenny will be back to say, hey, we're live on the next show. So with that, let's see. So I was talking about fishing on the bayou. I caught my first catfish. So if you go up to Facebook, you will see my experience of not only catching my first catfish, but eating my first catfish as well. And then I found out as I was eating it that it would be better if it was cooked. I had no idea. I thought sushi was, you know, that was sushi. But anyway, Steve, you want to add anything about it?
He was definitely a rookie, but he did have a life-changing experience because we were in the worst storm that I had ever been in on my boat. We had to anchor and kind of sit down on the floor because lightning was popping all around us, and the winds were howling probably 30 to 40 miles per hour. It was a little hairy there for a while. And
but we lived to talk about it.
And he even learned how to cast on his own. I didn't have to bait his hook just one time.
That's right. And not only that, I shared Mother's Day with Steve and his family, and that was so special. That was really, it was an amazingly special moment in time because, you know, coming from New York, when you go out for a Mother's Day or a Thanksgiving Day, there's so much arguing going on at the table, you know, that you can't even hear the conversations because everybody's arguing. There was not one argument at the table. I kind of wondered, this is probably what it's really supposed to be like. So anyway, we now need to lock the room, and we've got somebody who's already in there. So let's get rid of that. I guess we're the only ones here. Tina, if you could did you grab that? Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, there we go. All right. Sorry about that, guys. I had to lock the room. So those people that are co-hosts, if you see somebody that wants to get into the room that belongs, we'll let them in. All right. So anyway, Steve, thanks so much for a wonderful, wonderful time. And I had my first po' boy. Which is basically, you know, some French bread with whatever they want to put in the middle of it, you know. But it's really delicious. If you've never had it, you should. All right. No tartar sauce. You know what I found out? That there is no tartar sauce, or at least in Steve's world. It's ketchup. It's ketchup and hot sauce. I meant to ask you about that. Do they have tartar sauce in New Orleans?
Yes, they do. They serve it in restaurants, but not at my house.
That's it. Rumelade, I have no idea. Alfred Ramirez is in the room now. So anyway, let's keep going on. So one of the things why it reminded me of that, because it's so fresh in my mind, but there was a fisherman in Texas that hauled in an 876 pound fish. And of course, our catfishes were only, 2 or 3 pounds. So, I mean, I can't imagine how big that fish was. Also, for you single guys in the room, or you guys who are thinking about getting a divorce, the 10 richest women in the world were ranked by Forbes magazine, and I thought that was pretty impressive on how much money there is in these women's pocketbooks. So if you get a chance, check out the link. If you're looking for somebody super wealthy, the list is there. So one last thing I want to talk about before we go into something else, and that is Sturgis. It was just reported that the Sturgis motorcycle rally caused widespread transmission of COVID. Now, who would have thought? Who would have thought that would happen? You know, unbelievable. And that was in 2020. So, you know, anybody have any comments on that? Anybody want to say anything about that? Nope.
I have a lot of things to say about it, but not on
Yeah.
YouTube.
What was not on YouTube? All right. Well, when we go off, you'll know. By the way, Tim, how's things going over down where you are? Are things getting busier? Oh, there we go. Well, I guess the answer is
I'm
Tim?
having Zoom problems.
Yeah, I think we're all having Zoom problems tonight. I think I think it must be Zoom, not us. So anyway, we'll just have to bear with it. What do you think? You getting better? It's getting better, worse, and different? Well, you're muted for sure. That's why we couldn't hear
Now
you.
you clear, Tim. Try it, Tim.
No, he's freezing. He's freezing. So Steve, I hear you're really busy now.
I am. I got to go back to work tonight. We got 2 tomorrow, 2 Friday, or 3 Friday, and 2 on Saturday.
Mhm.
So busy week.
And Brian, I hear that you're busy too in North Carolina.
Yeah, I just had one gig over the weekend, but it's starting. But my problem is 80% of the gas stations in Charlotte don't have gas now. So we're feeling the crunch of the Colonial Pipeline. So
Yeah, what is the deal on that? Is there any news on that? I mean, it seems so unusual that a computer glitch in a pipeline is causing the Northeast to just be without
So
gas.
they did not
or the
know
Northwest,
how-
the North-South.
So the Southeast, all from basically Virginia down through Florida and then over to Mississippi, Alabama. But the theory is that they did not know how deep the hackers got into the system. So they did a full safety shutdown. And now they're having to bring them up pump by pump to make sure they're isolated and on a different network. But 2 days ago, it looked like a hurricane was coming in. People all out with their 5-gallon cans filling up, and fist fights in lines, cars being wrecked in lines trying to cut in front of each other. But as of 3 p.m. today in Charlotte, only 20% of the gas stations had fuel. They're talking about closing schools for the rest of the week, just keep the buses off now. So
I have a question for you. Now, is it just the pipeline that closed down, or is it the pumps at the gas station that closed down?
no, so it's the pipeline doing the distribution. So basically every governor in the states that is affected by this has they've suspended the rules on delivery. So now that the truck drivers can work more than a 10-hour day delivering fuel. So you think about it, they're carrying a highly volatile fuel and could be sleep deprived in 3 to 4 days. But the other thing that happened today was the EPA suspended emission requirements on the field, because once the fuel gets into like the Charlotte yard, they've got to add the extra additives for the emission controls, which then slows down the fuel coming out of the tanks and into the trucks. So yeah, it's interesting. The police are now saying don't travel if you don't have to. I had to run out to the bank today, and as I crossed an intersection, 2 people were pushing a car trying to get to a gas station that didn't have any gas. They were just trying to get the car out of the street. So it's a different crisis, but it's affecting.
Well, if it's not one thing, it's something else. But you know, it just seems to me that I didn't realize that the pipeline feeds the gas stations, because whenever I go to, like on our side, they use tanker trucks to fill up the gas stations.
So the pipeline doesn't feed the gas stations. We've got a depot in Charlotte. So all the gas comes to a depot, and then trucks run it from the depot to the gas stations. So the gas is shipped out of New Orleans or Louisiana and Texas by a pipeline, and then there's depots along the pipeline that the fuel is dropped into, and then they haul it by truck to the local stations. So the depots aren't getting serviced.
Ken Porter, our reporter here in Nashville, who I am visiting, I don't know could you guys hear him through my headset? I don't think so. I think he has to turn on his microphone. I know it would be great. You know, if there was a way to have like one microphone that would cover all of us, that would have been a great idea. But of course, I didn't think about it, and so now we don't have it. And believe it or not, he's got a wireless room that's almost stocked with almost every microphone you can imagine, and all sorts of technology here in this building. Unfortunately, he's not lending it to me. That's what the problem is. Yeah. Now, what were you saying about the labor?
Part of the problem was last year they had laid off so many truck drivers, people that just went out of unemployment, and they haven't come back yet. And so it's a little shortage of truck drivers that are licensed and whatever, able to run fuel. So that makes it a little difficult to come back. That's why we have a little shortages too.
You're muted, Jan.
Yes, it's a little bit there. Like yesterday morning, I went to go Kroger, get gas, and they were out of gas. Other places have it, it depends. I wonder who distributes here, whatever, who gets it from where, because I don't think it all comes from the same place.
Right. Anyway, it just seems to me that if this is a tip that I give you, always keep your car, once you get down to 3/4, fill it up again. And not only that, it fools you into thinking that you're not spending as much money on gas. Just a tip. You're not spending that much. We didn't really seem to have that problem though, Steve, when you filled up the tank. Maybe that's why it was a little slow when filling up the tanks when we were filling up the boat.
Well, it was the non-ethanol that was slow. Once I went over to the regular unleaded, it pumped faster for some reason.
Well, there we have it. That is the gospel, I tell you. That is the gospel. By the way, speaking of pumping gas, the Vax Live concert raised $302 million, and it exceeded all estimates and goals. Does anybody have any comments on that? Did anybody see it? Does anybody want to say anything about that concert? Anybody? Wow. You guys are filled with information. Let me just make it up because I didn't see it. Did you see it, Ken? Nope, nobody saw it. Moving on to the next story. I don't know. Does anybody know who's getting the money? Oh, by the way, just an FYI, Mike Brown is usually the voice of reason here in this room. His convention is tomorrow. And so he said he would try to make it in, but obviously he's got so much going on as it opens tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. And from my understanding, it's been very, very successful. Meyer went in, Digico went in, a bunch of other vendors, I think Shore went in. So yeah, he's doing really well with that convention. And it just goes to show that it's possible that we are going to be coming back in force when we start letting people back into the room. So that's something that's very exciting. And I'm looking forward to that as well. Has anybody made any plans to go to any shows at all? As far as conventions, AES, NAB, anything like that? Nothing? Hey, we're moving on then.
No, just so the Hollywood Bowl announced it's opening up starting pretty soon.
Right.
They start having all the big concerts in addition to the orchestra. They didn't talk about the orchestra. They talked about the artists coming in. So that's good news. Summer at the Bowl.
Yeah, there's all sorts of shows. This Ooby Dooby, it was a rave in Texas. The festival welcomed 30,000 fans per day in Texas. It was 40 miles from Dallas on April 24th and 25th. It was like EDM. Did anybody hear anything about that? Wow, our reporters are not doing their job out in the street. All right, next. Let's see, what else could we talk about? I got nothing.
I don't know, Jan, you got any winning lotto numbers?
8, 15, 25, 32, 68, and 5. Okay, and that's about it. Use those numbers.
One of them might be in a winning combination somewhere.
Yes, I think so too, depending on how many numbers you need. So does anybody have anything at all they want to say? Because I'm running out of ideas. So yeah.
Well, basically, the report from my little part of the world here in the middle of the country is that there's some local handwork. There's a fair bit of local work coming back, graduations, commencements, those kind of things. In fact, I loaded in a supplemental arena system this afternoon for a university commencement that'll come out on Saturday evening. Got some 2,000 capacity rooms that are opening back up to partial capacity. I don't know what the number is. I know we just have to cover the same amount of floor space we always have. In the labor department, it's hard to get labor of any kind, let alone good labor. Some of you may or may not be shaking your heads at some point here. I know that my IA local is having to send out 100 calls to get 12 to 14 people on an arena changeover crew. Now, that's not great work. It's not glamorous work. It's hard work, and it doesn't pay very well. But, you know, there aren't people crying to come out and bust their butt for $12 an hour. Even on the higher paid stuff, we've lost a fair number of people of our skilled workers. We've lost 30% of them to Home Depot, Lowe's, and retirement.
Lowe's and retirement?
Yeah. What happened was the people who had unemployment problems getting their unemployment benefits several months ago said the heck with it and went and got a temporary job that by the time things started looking up in the entertainment business, they said, wow, I've already got a pension. I've got a 401k. I've got paid vacation built up. I've got time off built up. And even though I'm making $5 or $6 or $7 an hour less, I'm getting $7 an hour in benefits, and I have a schedule that doesn't ruin my family life. Those people aren't coming back.
Yeah, no, those people aren't coming back. You know, one of my friends, and he's been on the show, Steve Ligorio out of Texas. I was talking to him today. He's got like 20 shows coming up right now. He's having, you know, he used to have about 300 people on his crewing service, and he's having trouble finding crew as well. And he's getting busier and busier and busier. You know, Ken? Yeah, I would say, could you guys hear Ken Porter?
Have any of the states done the thing where they've postponed or has canceled the additional $300 or $350, whatever, from the federal government for the state yet? Because that's the thing that's been coming up, is that Tennessee did that, stop that the end of this month or the next month, something like that. Another state supposedly been doing that. I wonder if that's how that's going to affect some of the people coming back.
So California, last I heard, Newsom, of course, you know, they're trying to get him out of there. So he decides that all of a sudden we have like millions and millions of dollars of surplus, and they want to give everybody a big bump, like a $600 bump in their unemployment. So, you know, I haven't heard anything about ours going away. In fact, they keep talking about raising it up even more. So who knows?
Well, I'm read about a guy yesterday in California, a restaurant person, that he's happened to pay his dishwashers $25 an hour to enter his restaurant, and that's his lowest paid scale. And he said, I can't keep the restaurant open paying at that rate. And but it's mainly the Southeast is what Ken's talking about. Pretty well all the Southeast states except North Carolina by June 15th will stop the bonus on unemployment. There will be North Carolina's talking about theirs, but there'll be an exception if you have some extenuating circumstances. But as long as you turn down a job, you're not going to get the bonus. You have to go and apply at least once a week, and then if you get a job offer, you have to take it or the bonus is gone.
Yeah, it seems to me that I hear that a lot, that unemployment, you know, the way they've done the unemployment is people just don't want to come back to work. But I find that so hard to believe that they just want to sit home and watch TV. You know, it's like, what are they watching? I mean, how much could they watch?
They're watching us, Jan. They're watching us.
You know, it's not everybody that really loves their work. You know, in fact, if you know the percentages, most people don't like what they do for a living. We are very lucky. We would probably do it for nothing or close to it.
Well, we are right now. So
we already do.
I think a lot of us started working, you know, volunteering just to get the work and get the experience.
I mean, I got a friend that I talk to, and he does a lot of lighting, and he's like, he said, I want to get back to where I can make in one day what I'm doing right now during a week doing odds and end jobs. So, you know, it's that balance. But yeah, I think the unemployment's playing a lot of key into that.
Yeah, I would think so too, as well. I think,
The other point too is that a lot of people are a little hesitant coming back because I said, what happens if we have a third phase or a new thing come fall and everything shuts down again comes September, October. And I have a okay job that I have at the moment, but all of a sudden I'm out of this again and I don't know if I can get that job back.
I think the bad news, Ken, is we're going to have that fourth wave a lot sooner than September.
Yeah, I'm learning a lesson about how to do this show, and that is not to do it with 3 other people in the room.
I thought
Everybody has to wear an earplug.
You can't have the
Especially
talent in the
because I'm
same
drinking
room. You got to
as
be
well.
remote.
They got me high on alcohol. What the hell? Yeah.
If everybody wore earbuds, it wouldn't be a problem. That's the same problem we run into doing Zoom meetings and stuff.
I have a headpiece in, but it's as you can, if you can't see what I'm looking at, because you can't. I've seen Ken over here and Paul over there, and so it's what do we do? Oh, you're using your laptop now. Oh, I didn't realize that. Well, they can't see. Anyway, so what else will we? Oh, there. Hey, that's a good picture of me.
And you get to see the Jan Landy portable Zoom casting kit there.
Yes, I have the
all packed to fly with.
Yes,
complete with buzz.
Yeah. So Bruce, what's going on with you, man? Talk about something that's happening with you.
Well, it's been an interesting week. I had my June show in Austin go away, which is unfortunate because we spent about 2 weeks rebudgeting and redrawing it 3 or 4 times because the audience kept shrinking and it got down to nothing. So they canceled the show. Well, canceled it for us. Who knows what they're really doing? They may be Zooming. I don't know. But the good side of it, the good news is I got 6 days in July. So one went away and one came, and that's about it at the moment.
Well, that's good. Las Vegas is opening up wide open now. Everything is opening. Circa's back. Blue Man Group is back. The Wynn is open. The Wynn's opening. Bellagio was opening.
Do they have full audiences or not?
It seems like they're all opening to full audiences now.
Wow.
That's what I heard.
Well, the hotels
they're
are
all
sold out every weekend. Caesars said they're sold out till the end of the year. So
And now, and the new hotel that just opened up, Resorts World just announced their whole schedule with Celine Dion and other major celebrities that are coming in there. So that's opening up. I would say that Las Vegas is going to start to get back to full swing ahead. Although I just saw today an announcement that they found the new strain of COVID in Las Vegas. So I don't know if that's going to mean anything. Let me see here if I can find this here on my notes, because I did have some notes about what was going on in Las Vegas, which I thought was kind of really interesting. Basically, let's see. Did you forget to drink water? No, that's not it. Stocks are tumbling. That person called. Wow, you wouldn't believe how. I mean, what happens when you just don't look at your phone for a while? It's amazing. But there was a lot of shows that I wanted to talk about, but unfortunately, too many people are texting me, so I can't talk about it. What else is going on, guys? Anything?
So, I'll tell you something. So my granddaughter's graduating high school in Las Vegas, and they're doing it at the new baseball stadium. An outdoor graduation. Everybody can, rather than having it indoors on Zoom, they somehow got the stadium hasn't even had a game in there yet. And we're going to be there for the graduation. So I'm coming to Vegas next week.
Oh yeah, they just announced the Raiders are going to be playing their first home game over there. No, at the they've announced that the Raiders are going to be playing at their new Allegiant Stadium. So I wonder if that Garth Brooks shows is going to come on as well, because he's booked as well for that stadium.
I think that's where we're going to be. The Allegiant is the football, right?
Yes,
I
the
think
Regent
so.
Stadium is football. The
Yeah, I think-
Las Vegas baseball field is in Summerlin.
Then maybe it is in Summerlin. Well, I'm on a need to know basis. I get in the
No,
car.
in Summerlin, David, they have the baseball stadium, the 51s, which I believe is the, if Tina is correct, I believe, or Tina, if you could correct me, I think that's where the Dodgers AA team plays. Is that correct? Or is it AAA team?
We're AAA, I think here.
Yeah, AAA. So, I mean, it's a beautiful stadium, and then they just built it.
Well, I'll be in one of them. I just don't know which one.
Well, when is that going to be?
Next weekend. Well, today's Wednesday, not this weekend coming up, but the one after. You're gonna be back.
Well, I'll be back. We could get together and we could celebrate our birthdays in real life.
All right, let's see what happens.
Yeah,
But I
I'm
believe
really
we're
trying.
affiliates of Oakland A's, not the Dodgers.
Oh, really? I thought we were affiliates of the Dodgers. When did that change?
No, we're affiliates of the Oakland A's.
Cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Anybody have anything? Bruce,
think-
you want to say something?
It changed in 2019.
Okay, here it is. Station Casino is opening 100%. The MGM announced that it's returning to 100% occupancy and no social distancing on the casino floors. That was this morning. Resort World, here it is. Resort World headliners, performance updates released for Celine Dion, Carrie Underwood, Katy Perry, and Luke Bryan at Resorts World. So Las Vegas is coming out. The first Raiders game of the season, Las Vegas Raiders will be opening their season against the Baltimore Ravens. So things are starting to happen right now. And then, of course, they found the new variant, the B1. Now, Brian, do you know about this? The B161.7.2. Do you know what that means?
I know about the 0.3, but not the 0.2.
So it's a new virus. It's probably helps you gamble. So they're probably not going to do anything about it. That's it. You know.
No, I haven't heard anything about that. But I guess my question for Vegas is: are they going to let them start to use chips again, or are they going to still have to gamble with their phones?
Well, I don't know, but I also read just right now, that it didn't come in now. It did come in, but I couldn't find it until right now. The Stratosphere Hotel will now return to 100% capacity on its casino floor, effective immediately. So Las Vegas is back. We're back, baby. We're back. So come on down to Las Vegas and gamble your money away. Okay, Garth Brooks is now scheduled for July 10th. And at the Allegiance, July 17th at the Rice-Eccles Stadium in Salt Lake, 7:23 at the Frontier Park in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Then he skips away till September, and then he goes to Cincinnati, and then on September 25th, Brian, he's supposed to be at the Bank of America Center where you are. Do you know anything about that?
I haven't heard anything updates on that was his last push out. So that was that date. So interesting about Wyoming is I wonder if they're doing because he probably would be headlining at the Frontier Days in Cheyenne, which is a big rodeo event up there. So it sounds like they're planning on doing that.
Yeah, I would think I would think for sure that they would be doing that. Anyway, that's the news from Las Vegas. If there's anything else going on, and I'm sure there is, what's going on? And I noticed, I went to a restaurant in Nashville, and it seemed like every table was booked. There was no more 6-foot distancing. And the funniest thing is, and I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it seems so stupid. You have to walk in the door with a mask, you sit at the table, and immediately you're taking the mask off. And it just doesn't seem to make any sense at all. Is that happening wherever you guys are? Or is there still mask ordinance going on where you don't have to wear a mask at all?
You have to walk in with it on, and then you can instantly take it off. It's so dumb.
Does that make sense to anybody?
Once you're at your table, you can take it off. So, hey, Ken, did he take you to the stockyard yet? Did he take you to the stockyard for steak?
The stockyard, the restaurant went out of business a couple of years ago.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Went to a really nice place last night. I forgot the name of it. Skulls. It was on Printer's Alley, and it was really good. I mean, very, very good. The piece of meat that we ordered was about that thick, and it was like enough for at least 2 big dogs. And I think Paul's dog ended up getting it, and his dog is going to probably get a lot bigger now from that piece of meat. All right. So, it's normally I would have a lot more to say. Oh, hey, Kurt's in the room. So, who's got anything else they want to share? Is there anybody that has anything? The joke of the day? Well, Josh was going to do the joke of the day, but Josh seems to be busy, doing something else. So anyway, for my birthday show was kind of weak, to say the least. It's been a weak show, every week, as a matter of fact. But next week is going to be the anniversary show, and I'm going to be back in Las Vegas, so I'm going to be able to promote it and get people put the hammer on people, saying, "Hey, you better be at this show because this is our 1-year anniversary show." Is that right? Would that be correct? The 52nd one would be the 1-year anniversary show?
You're going to get the big production number out, the dancers, the animals, the whole thing, right?
Yeah, I'll pull out something, But isn't that true? That next week, if it's the 52nd, that would be the anniversary show, or would it be the 53rd?
It'd be the
It'll be the 53rd.
It would be the 53rd.
It'll be
Oh,
the 53rd,
damn,
would be
man.
the
I got
one-
another week before it's the... I'm just going to say next year's the 1-year anniversary. That's the end of the story. We're doing a 1-year anniversary, so be there or be square. That's what it... but no, that's where, so next week, it's going to be the 1-year anniversary, and I will pull out all stops to get everybody who's ever been on our panel to come in, so to celebrate it, and then we'll see where we go from there. I'm just having the time of my life. I'm really having a good time here, and this vacation has been good. We've been super busy. Chris Carlton is not here tonight because I sold a bunch of his speakers, and so he's packing a truck right now, so he can't make it. But I know he wanted to come, but he couldn't. So that Steve has got shows he's got to get going to, so I'm going to let him go as well. Anybody have a joke of the week? Because I don't. I can come up with something, but you just kind of go, groan. That's about it. Tim, what about you? You got a joke of the week?
Could I go to the
Kurt,
old music
joke of the
joke?
week?
Is it time to do that?
Sure. That or a baseball.
Yeah, let me keep the echo on, though. I think it'll be better.
All right. So there was this restaurant, and the guy wanted to class the place up, so he bought a piano and he advertised for a piano player. So he was auditioning piano players, and this guy comes in, and he looked like, he'd been living on the street, just looked really disheveled or whatever. He came in and sat down and started playing the piano, and it was just unbelievable. It was gorgeous. And the guy was like, "Holy cow, where'd you learn to play?" He says, "Well, it's always been there." He says, "You didn't notice anything else? He played something that was even more better than the first one." And he said, "That was pretty good, but I didn't recognize any of the songs." I said, "Well, I write my own songs." And he said, "Well, what was the name of that song?" And he said, "That was My Girlfriend Smells Like Dead Mackerel." He said, "So I can hire you, but you got to wear a suit, you got to get a tuxedo, and you can't tell people the names of the songs." I said, "Okay." So that night is in there and started playing. There's more people in there. It's going to get bigger and bigger. And everybody's getting really happy at playing. And he stood up, and his fly was down, and his ugly member was hanging out. And as he was walking on stage, he says, "Excuse me, did you know your fly is out and your ugly member is hanging out?" And he says, "Know it, I wrote it."
And I muted that. I muted myself in that joke. Unbelievable. Well, listen, I would like to keep it going, but I'm going to call it quits for right now because, it's getting late here in Nashville, and we got to go eat, and I got to finish this drink and probably all that other stuff. So, but before we go, is there anybody that has anything at all that they want to share before we say goodnight?
Safe travels.
I give up. All right. Well, with that in mind, You know, and you know, I got to give David Yancey credit. So he says to me, he says, "Hey, you know, when you ask a question, give people like 5-6 seconds before they answer, you know, but that silence is just
Not
deafening."
today. Not today.
Oh man. Anyway, so thanks everybody for coming today. For those people who are watching on YouTube, I just thank you so much for coming. Facebook as well. Just remember, we'll be back next week for our 1-year anniversary show, and I'll pull out all the punches and all the stops. So we'll have a really, really, really fun time with everybody who's ever been on the show or will ever admit that they were on the show. Just remember, I would normally say everything you heard was an opinion, you know, but today it didn't matter because I don't know if there was any opinions at all whatsoever that anybody came up with. But hey, make sure you have gas in your car. That's all I could say. And, you know, just remember, you make it happen. Give it the thumbs up. Thanks a lot for listening and watching. And we'll be back again next week at the same time. And I'll be back in Las Vegas. So thanks again for coming. And remember, you make it happen. Stay safe and stay healthy till then. Bye, everybody.